What do you think is the biggest key for the team to win at Buffalo on Sunday?
It's really all about us. We coming in into a hostile environment. Don't think about the crowd. Just go out there and play, man. Like you said, we came in last week, and like you said, the offense got going a little bit. I just feel like we keep that same momentum and just add on to it. And I feel like we go out there and we play a great game.
My friend David told me that the last time the Dolphins ran for 150 plus yards in 4 straight games was 1977.
I read it. 77.
That's a long
That's a
time.
long time ago. I was 3 years old personally, but do you think that you guys are shooting for 100 plus yards again?
I mean, I wouldn't say like we shoot for something. I just feel like we go out there, we just play our brand of football. Like you said, we run the ball well, our line block well, and like you said, these past few weeks in the run game, I feel like we've been doing a decent job.
Last year you were in the same situation. Jaylen Wright is in now, rookie coming along. How do you see him taking that on?
He been doing great, man. Like you said, he get in the game and he make big plays. Same as like I wouldn't say him coming in is like okay, he a rookie, he don't know what he's doing, but he in there. If he in, that mean obviously he doing. We trust him.
I noticed in studying the film that Jaylen Waddle hasn't had a Penguin celebration this year, and obviously it's because y'all haven't had enough touchdowns. But are you looking forward to the return of the Penguin celebration? Do you believe that it will happen in the near future?
Most definitely, that's my guy, man. I want to see him getting in the end zone every game. So, but that's always something that we look forward to. We look for anybody doing a celebration, but like you said, man, that's one of my guys. So of course, I always want to see him in the box.
There's some games you might not get too many opportunities. What's the mindset you take into the chances that you do get?
Just try to make the most of what I get. Be detailed as possible. And just beat me out there.
What do you believe the offensive coaches and players want the identity of the 2024 offense to be?
Explosive. We are explosive offense. It's just been a lot of stuff that's been holding us back. But I feel like we're gonna have a great week this week and go to Buffalo and get a great win. So.
What do you feel like is the biggest message or theme of the week that the coaches keep trying to drill into you guys?
Just know our assignments, know everything we got to do, know the type of environment we're going into, and just being focused, minimize penalties and pre-snap penalties and all that stuff. That's what a lot of that stuff killed us in the past game. So just being locked in to all our assignments, just all playing together.
What have you heard from guys about what this environment in Buffalo is like to go into?
It's real hostile. Of course, it's a rivalry. Well, I think it's a rivalry. Of course, it's a divisional game, so kind of like a rivalry. But, fans, hostile. I've seen a lot of it in college, come from SEC football. I know how it is and just ready to perform at a high level.
How important is it for young players to learn that you got to diversify your moves and you got to add more to your arsenal just because people like Teron Armstead are real professional in terms of what they do and how they study?
Yeah, well, I usually tell young guys, you want to have a fastball and a counter, and then you start building after you go through that. But the biggest thing, is go with what works. Don't try to be too creative. So I try to tell guys don't have too many moves too early. As you get older, you start building your moves as you go along. But, you have to have a counter. You can't just have one move, But you have a fastball and a counter, maybe a changeup. And then, and most of that really is, the changeup really is power for a young guy like that because people are expecting that power. So you get all the speed stuff going, your swipe, whatever it is that you do, then you have your counter off that, and then you come through and put power on them. Usually, people, once you beat them enough with speed, they kind of sit down and you can power them. And Chop has a pretty good power rush too. He had a good one last game against De'Von Achane. It was close to a sack. And, he has to definitely bring that again this week. But he's getting close, man. He's a guy that has, a lot of shots on goal. And, eventually those will start turning into sacks and game-changing plays. But the first one's the hardest one because you want it so bad.
What are some of the key things to keep in mind when defending Josh Allen?
Well, from a defensive line standpoint, is you don't want him scrambling to beat you. He could throw the ball very well, but he's incredible with his legs. And, he's bold with his legs, So the biggest thing is got to keep him, from scrambling to beat you. So we have to have a plan, rush together, make sure we're on the same page. But we still got to rush him because if you let him sit back there for 5-6 seconds, he's going to tear our secondary apart. So we have to have a unison rush where we're all rushing 4 as one.
Coach Weaver said today that he'll give you a chance to get the ball out the way Josh holds it. What do you see on that, and how important do you think it'll be to create some more turnovers moving forward?
Yeah, he's turned the ball over a lot in his career, but he's also made a lot of big-time plays. So, it's kind of like, you just take a little bit of bad with all the good that comes in with it. But it's something that we have to keep, in cognizance. We have to make sure we're focusing on tackle the ball. And he's such a big guy, tough tackle. It's almost easier to tackle the ball. But at the same time, guys going for the ball, miss a lot of tackles too. So it's a balance, But I think the biggest thing is rushing together and then trying to, a lot of bodies at the ball, meaning at the ball, population at the ball.
We hear a lot of the music. They've been playing the music at practice really loud. But how annoying should they play that against Buffalo? How annoying is that?
I'm so locked in at practice, none of that really matters to me, but I think it's good for us to kind of get the environment and what it's going to be like on Sunday while we're preparing. But at the same time, this is a big game that, we need. So, whatever it takes, head down, go for it.
But how annoying is that? Let's go Buffalo.
I just want to win. That's all that matters to me at all. I just want to win. They play, as long as we win the game, I don't care how many times they play it.
You haven't been here for 12 out of 13 losses. That's the streak. From your experience, is defeating a rival opponent who has gotten the better of you sometimes not just physical but also mental? Is there a mental component?
Well, I think where we're at this point in time of the season, this could be the catalyst that gets us going, that gets us on that run that we need. Big game, and who they are, what they represent, and leaders of the division, kind of the leaders of the division the last few years. This could be a big game for us to get on that run. We need to go on.
Did this run defense find some things for most of this past game outside of maybe that last drive there or some runs? But
I think as a whole, we've been working, on our run defense a lot, and we started kind of like, just figuring out what we need to do to be successful. We run a too high shell most of the time, so. We play a light box, and so they're going to have some yards, but we just got to be able to, two-gap and rush together. Play the run game together because, multiple guys have two gaps, so we all kind of play in a gap and a half, and then eventually, those spots, we have to make sure we're on the same page, So a lot of it's communication pre-snap, a lot of it's understanding, what the guys' strengths are and just playing together and make sure we're communicating.